Welcome back to another Technobabble podcast. This is episode 60. We're looking back at 2019. Welcome back for another Technobabble podcast. Today's going to be a little different. We're going to take a look back at some of the best stories, at least to my point of view, from the past year as we go into 2020. And I thought I'd share this with you. It's going to be a pretty short one. We didn't have a ton of podcasts this year, unfortunately, due to the way my work worked out. But I hope you enjoy it. The first entry we have here is about AMD and Intel at CES. So hope you enjoy. And here we go. We also did hear, while Lisa Su was on the stage there, that Ryzen... the third generation Ryzen will be out 7 nanometers and stuff out in mid 2019, so mid this year. So
yeah, which is, I mean, cool. Kind of about what we were expecting. I think a lot of us were hoping that we'd see a surprise at CES.
Yeah, soft launch.
Like, hey, here it comes. Yeah, but yeah. No, they did show it off. They showed off what it looks like.
Yes,
looks like they got lots of room there. So,
and I got it right. My prediction was right.
Your prediction was correct.
I did get it right. They have two modules on there. The CPU is separate from the I/O module, and
yep.
and I can't take all credit for that because I got that from somebody else on another podcast. But I kind of went with that because that was something they did with the latest version of their Epic processors. So this should help with performance issues that. Like the Infinity Fabric relies so much on your RAM speed, that should change a bit now. So, which is good. It'll still be important, but less important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you got two chiplets on there. You got a big chiplet, which is the I/O, and then you got the small chiplet, which is the CPU itself. And the way they've oriented them, they got the big I/O chip is off to the left, and then you got the small CPU chip sort of off in the right corner, top corner, leaving room for what some people speculate for another chiplet.
Yeah. So I'm guessing what we saw there was the new Ryzen 7, and add another one to that. Maybe you get a Ryzen 9. That was the rumor, anyway.
That is the rumor. That is the rumor. I'm also wondering if we may actually see a drastic change in Threadripper.
And yeah.
To this sort of smaller design, because Threadripper is enormous.
Yeah, so maybe you're seeing some. Yeah, maybe you'll see some cut down Threadrippers.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's lots of speculation. But we do have this time, at least, we do have all 8 cores are on one chip, so that should help performance wise as well. So
yeah, now they're talking. I mean, they're showing some pretty good looking IPCs there. Looks like, at least at first glance.
Oh yes.
So it makes me pretty excited for what they're going to do in the mid range there.
We weren't, and that was a engineering sample they were using. That wasn't even like a final thing. We don't have final numbers for the gigahertz. So
but it's looking good, looking real good.
Well, I think you can look forward to getting at least 200 or 300 more megahertz out of it by the time it actually ships.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very promising.
Yeah. Pretty cool stuff.
Did you follow any of the announcements from Intel?
No, I actually this is weird for me because I'm usually I'm the Intel guy, but I watched the entire Ryzen live stream or AMD live stream.
Oh, did you? Good for you.
Anything from Intel.
So, oh, good. I didn't either, and I didn't really pay attention because I really don't care about Intel.
Fair enough.
But they did announce 10 nanometer Cascade Lake, Ice Lake, and Nirvana AI chip. Ooh, AI.
Yeah, I mean they've been announcing this for years.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah, they keep announcing it, right?
Yeah.
by the end of this year, they are promising to have the 10 nanometer chip out. So,
okay. Like for
yay.
desktops?
AMD's already at 7, so...
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, technically TSMC's at 7 and AMD's riding that train, but...
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's...
their chips are already designed for 7, so...
yeah, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was their deal. They're like, yeah, we're someone too, and we care about CPUs again. That was actually the biggest news from their talk at CES.
That was pretty much it, yeah.
That was what people said. I mean, people said they actually said they started with desktop CPUs. They said, we actually do care about these still, sort of.
Uh-huh.
They're coming. More new ones are coming. And that's about it. That was about it. All right, so that first episode was from, or that first track from us was from episode 45. Doing this a little raw here, folks. But we're going to move on to episode 47, where we talk about the latest in USB and how they made it into a terrible debacle. Let's listen in. USB. You know what USB is.
Nope. Never
the
used
Universal Serial Bus.
I've never taken that bus before in my life.
Neither have I, but I use it all the time. Anyway, of course, we all have USB things. Of course, and we all have a useless USB-C port on our computer. We don't know what to do with them.
I'm sure there's some
apparently other people know what to do with them. I haven't encountered one reason to use it. I don't know.
It's there though.
It is there, and it's taken up a valuable area on both of my motherboards, and I can't do anything with it. So
how valuable is that area, really? You got lots.
Every single USB port is used on these computers.
Use a hub, man.
Nah, hubs are for dummies.
What? What? We're literally using a headphone hub right now. No more
plugs to plug in power for a hub down there. I'm already using 3 power bars coming out of 2 power outlets.
You don't need power.
You do if you have powered stuff, though, if you're using a hub.
Well, yeah, don't use that. Just use a normal hub. It uses USB
don't like
power.
It. Anyway, the USB idiots that came up with the USB stuff, they are now changing USB 3.0 and 3.1 to 3.2. But there's all kinds of different ones. I don't know if you watched Liza's video. They talked about this, and I think it was not a Tech Wiki or whatever, Tech Linked or whatever. Anyway, 3.2 will include the 3.0 and the 3.1, but there's also going to be a new 3.2 Gen 2x2.
I only like 4x4.
Well, yeah, and that's going to allow 20 gigabits transmission on it. Mm-hmm. But essentially, they've removed those old standards and now added 3.2, which is actually making more stuff happen now. And then a week after this, it's not even on here. Mm-hmm. They announced a USB 4, which is going to be lightning based
or
Thunderbolt based,
yeah.
But not Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
and it won't be guaranteed what any of it can do.
It'll be compatible, but the idea was that Thunderbolt would go bye-bye in favor of USB 4, correct? That's the idea. So when they first started this, they were like, it was like USB 3.2, we're getting rid of all that crap, we're just going to go to this one thing. And I'm like, all right.
Except when they announced this, they announced 4 different things.
And they're like, but here's the other things that no. You had such a good idea. Why did you just shanked it? What?
I have an excellent idea. Yeah. First of all, get rid of all the USB Type A ports. Everything should be USB-C. Even though I have nothing that I can use with it, it's going to force users to get onto that because ultimately it's safer.
Yeah.
That style of port anyway, because you can put it in any way you want.
None of that.
And
that's smaller. Wrong. Turn it over. Oh, it's still wrong. Turn it over. Oh, it's right.
Yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
Hold on.
Wait, I started with that. Yeah, there's none of that. Other than that, and I don't know, Thunderbolt is that way, right? It uses that Type C connection.
C connection, yeah.
Yeah. It should just be that way.
Yeah.
Type A should be gone. Controllers for game controllers should not be using this stupid, flimsy micro USB connection.
Yeah.
And if they're using them on the next generation,
my phone's
angry Jeff.
I don't use the USB on my controller. I have
the problem with these is that they wear out and then they don't work anymore. You got to buy another one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if you have like mine uses this phone uses a micro USB.
My phone does that too. But.
And just after a while, the more you use it, that this doesn't wear out on the phone, but the stupid plug on the charger
does.
goes.
Yeah, you have to replace your cable every once in a while.
Yeah. So
yeah. I don't actually use the charging cable for my Xbox controller for my computer.
Oh, you plug them into a.
I just have the sit on it pad thing. You just. It's like $30. It's handy. It doesn't hold the battery packs in it because Xbox, which pisses me off still. They still made you buy batteries for the controllers.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So
it's ridiculous.
I bought the pack that was like the charging stand. It came with the 2 charging packs. They don't hold a charge for that long, but it's long enough for a normal gaming session where you don't really care. Plus, I have 2, so you can swap if all the batteries out. Swap.
Yeah, I bought an aftermarket thing of that, but it didn't come with the base charger.
Oh, okay.
But it came with special USB cords that were really long.
Oh, okay.
Like they reach from the TV over here. It's with room to spare. So they're kind of nice that way. But yeah, no, I never had that. But
that is nice.
Microsoft.
That's just one small
that said,
thing
though,
like,
Sony controllers don't hold a lot of juice.
They don't, but at least you can just charge them. You don't have to buy a pack.
Yeah.
And they're the same price, right? Like,
yeah.
Except for till recently.
If you can find them.
Yeah. Recently,
here in Canada, you can't buy controllers anymore. They don't exist.
Yeah, you can still find like the non-standard Xbox controllers, like the ones that are like different
Some
patterns.
of them.
DS4 controllers are nowhere.
They're nowhere.
Where are
you go
they?
to EB Games, they got one type of controller listed, or else they've got some used ones you can buy. Like I'm sure if you go into the store, they'll have more. But why wouldn't you list all of them on their website? But anyway,
last time I was in there, I checked just to see, and they were sold out in the store.
I don't understand that.
Like, are they not making them anymore? Like, and these are a controller that, no offense to Sony, but their controllers are not exactly robust. PS4 controllers are.
The rubber grips on them are good.
Rubber grips are. Well, mine wore off with on my original one. Launch PS4 wore off within like the year of launch. I had to put the thumb grips on, which is fine.
Yeah,
but like kind of annoying. But like they've had problems with the triggers wearing out or just breaking.
Oh,
so they had quality control
playing
issues.
too hard.
Yeah, maybe. Mine were fine. They weren't crisp anymore, but they were. So you could tell they were wearing down, but they still worked.
Oh yeah, well, I guess I don't play enough. I played enough, but I
didn't play mine that much either.
My thumbsticks have cracks and stuff in them now, and I still don't play that much on them. But they do have issues worn out and stuff. But
compared to the Xbox controllers, they were fragile.
Compared to the PlayStation 3 controllers, they were.
To be fair, the PlayStation 3 controllers always felt fragile, but they lasted forever.
Well, the DualShock 3s felt really good, I thought. The 6-axis, the original controller, didn't have any rumble in it.
Yeah.
That felt cheap. Not only was light, but the plastic, I think it must have been a little thinner. Or something.
But they never broke.
No,
they stayed like you were like, this is going to break in 5 seconds.
I prefer to have that controller back, to be honest.
6 years later, you're like, it's
better.
still fine.
Yeah,
feels cheap, but must have not been.
Yeah. And from that episode, we're going to episode 48, where we talk about some new things happening to Windows updates and whether we like them or not. Windows 10 May 2019 update. Windows update stuff.
Yeah.
They're, at least for home users, they're going to let you put it off for 35 days.
Oh, thank you, merciful overlords.
Mm-hmm.
For letting us not break our system immediately.
Yeah.
And have to put it off for 35 days and then break our system. I'm sorry.
The catch is you have to do it every 7 days to put it off to a maximum of 35 days.
Yeah. And then at 35 days, they're just going to shut your computer off and
they're just going to reboot you. So there you go. You got the new Windows. You're welcome.
Oh, Microsoft.
There is one fix for this and one only. Disconnect your computer.
from the internet.
Yep. Which would
Not from the wall.
not from the wall, just the
unplug
network.
it. Problem solved.
You're good. Yep.
Which it defeats the purpose of a computer.
Well, if you're just playing games,
That's true.
you can play Steam games offline.
You can. You can't play Epic games offline. Oh no, you can now. I don't know. Point is,
Who cares? They're epic.
yeah. Here's the thing. Has there ever been a company, at least in the tech world, that does so much right and so much wrong at the same time? That's Microsoft.
EA?
That's mostly just wrong. I'm struggling to think of right. There's occasionally a right somewhere in there, but
Yeah. I don't know. Apple's doing a lot of weird stuff now. Not when it comes
Apple's
to
a
they
good
don't
example
force
too,
the
I guess,
updates,
yeah.
but
no, but they do. Here's some really cool
they
stuff.
release
You're
a
like,
lot of crap hardware now.
You're like, okay, that's really cool. It's pretty cool tech, and you got some sweet displays, and you're like, and we're gonna kneecap it with no thermal plans. Like, all right, so it's just gonna throttle to death. Yeah,
And
it's
they've
gonna
got
cost $3,000.
They've got a keyboard
Okay.
that no one likes. They hate that butterfly switch, but they are hanging on to it as much as they can.
They love it.
Yep. All right. On episode 52, we have a discussion about Google taking face data of yours for a small amount of money given to you, believe it or not. And we also talked about backdoors and how the government wants to get to your data without trying. Let's take a listen on what we discussed. Silly. All right, so we got a little bit of extra news that I wanted to cover because I think they're important.
All right. What do we got?
First thing is Google is offering $5 gift cards for your face data.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
So it's a $5 Amazon or $5 Starbucks gift card. So Google is telling you here that they want to own your face for $5.
Pass.
Like
$5? Come on. Where's the incentive in that?
people that are doing this, honestly, and if you're a listener, I'm sorry, but
That's a lot of effort.
your
to go
face
through
is
for
worth
$5.
more than $5. Number one.
Well, that's true. But
But when you do that, you're giving up your face data to them, and they can use it for whatever they want, just like what they do with all your other data.
yeah.
That's hard
strange.
on my brain feels.
To me, it's like a $5 gift card to Amazon or Starbucks. Why would I even bother?
To me, if you
Why
want
would I
my
even bother
face
going
data,
through-
if you want my face data,
Yeah.
you're going to be paying me like $1 million.
Okay.
And
but
obviously,
even-
they're not going to do that.
no. But even if you didn't care, they could be like, whatever. They can have my face. Why would you go through the effort of accepting their terms of service and even getting it on there for $5? Like that's not even $5. That's like give me if it was like
To me,
$100. I
That's
might
a
be like,
slap
all
in the
right.
face to me.
Exactly.
But people won't look at it that way because they're giving you $5.
But $5. I mean, I'm
$5.
cheap, but $5 for that. I mean, no. If it was $100, I'd have to have an ethical quandrum of like
$100.
Not ethical,
No,
but-
nothing is good enough
for you. Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned. I
say,
mean,
for
I said $1
example-
million earlier, but even then, to me, it's not worth it giving up my face data to a company that's going to use it for whatever they want to use it
they'll
for.
just take it anyways, Jeff. Don't worry about it.
Oh, they're going to get it someday anyway.
Conspiracy.
But I'm not going to give it to them for free. Not like that.
No.
Well, that's not free, but that's free to me. So,
It's just, I mean, they at least make me think about it,
yeah.
Make it worth clicking on something.
Just have a really, really hard time with that. The Attorney General of the United States, so this doesn't really, it doesn't really have anything to do with us technically, even though we're north of the United States. He wants a lawful backdoor into encryption. So we've already seen how this has gone bad.
Here's the problem.
I understand where he's coming from
Mm-hmm.
because it could make their investigations a lot easier.
Yeah.
But my stance is, go get a quantum computer and start friggin' figuring it out yourself. because we got our stuff locked for a reason. We don't want everybody just willy-nilly getting into our phones or any of our encrypted stuff. The encryption there is to keep our stuff private. Now, in Canada, we can do it, but the government doesn't give a shit about that. So, excuse my language, but our government is. We don't have the freedoms that you got in States.
There's two problems with this. Number one, the second you put a back door into anything, that means that there's an available path for someone to get in.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, you can hide it well, but that does mean you're intentionally opening a hole.
Yeah, and once you do that, the hackers are going to find that right away.
Yeah. The second thing is, and I know they're like, well, we want. The second thing is a question of personal individual rights, and this get very, not to get too philosophical, but individual rights versus.
Oh, that's why I want to talk about this.
I know, but individual rights versus convenience for prosecution of criminals. Now, we all want criminals to be prosecuted unless we are one, in which case you probably don't. But otherwise, you do. I get that. But at what cost is the question for this kind of thing, right? Once you start getting into this, you start getting into, and we've already had this conversation. I know people are probably sick of it. You start getting into, now you have access into stuff that I don't want you to have access into.
Yeah.
And in this digital age, it's already becoming an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people are like, well, if you have nothing to hide, then it's not a problem.
That's not the point.
Yeah, but at the same time, why do they need all this? I don't have anything to hide. My life is boring as heck. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Aside from my banking information, which I don't want public, I guess, because I like having money in there. I don't want you to take it out. I have really nothing to hide, but I'd rather not have that information available to everyone that comes a looking, including big companies.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's one of those things that, yeah, it makes it way easier for prosecutors, but at the same time, part of their job is not to take the easiest path.
Oh, their job is to investigate.
To investigate while protecting individual rights.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that we're going away from that, and we might not like where that ends up. Hopefully we do.
Well, I mean, we're already long past this kind of stuff here in Canada. We don't have those individual rights that they have in the States.
Yes.
So we have a charter of rights, but it's not law.
It's also out of date.
Very out of date. But if you're an American, don't let them do that. So whatever you have to do.
Even if you don't care about your personal data,
yeah,
just think about the larger implications of what that means.
Well, this is what I say. Do you want to be on your own reality show? Do you want a camera in your face all the time?
Some people do. I don't know why you would.
No, some people do, and that's why you got all these idiots on YouTube. But if you don't want a camera in your face all the time, you should be against legislation like that.
Idiots on YouTube. That was harsh.
Yeah, we're on there too. I got.
It's true.
They just can't see our faces.
Yeah, we don't have a good camera, I guess.
Well, I got a good camera. That one's good.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
what do you think? We're not very pretty. I'll be honest.
Nope, I'm fat and lazy, but I got an awesome beard.
We're a couple of ugly dudes.
We're nerds. That's what we are.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, next episode 54, we talk a little bit about the new Microsoft Edge, and prominently known as Credge, and talk about how much we like it and how much we don't. You've heard about the Chrome-based new Edge browser from Microsoft?
Yes, we chatted about that.
I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but it's now an open beta.
Oh,
so you can download and use it.
Cool. Maybe I'll actually use it. There's nothing wrong with Edge, to be honest with you.
Edge has got quirks.
It does.
I found it worked really well on that really slow laptop that I've gotten tired of now. I really like the size. The size is great, but it's just too slow. Good battery life too, like all day. But it's actually the news is just it's open beta now, so you can get it downloaded. Anyone can download and use it.
Check it out. We can try it.
Apparently, they've only had.
Will it dethrone Opera, though, Jeff? I know it's your favorite.
Well, they stripped out all the Google stuff, which is okay, but then they put Microsoft stuff in. So I don't I trust Microsoft more than I trust Google when it comes to privacy.
That's a scary thought.
It would have been back in the day, but I do trust them more than Google because they want to take all of your information and sell it to everyone. Microsoft, they want your information, but they use it internally. To me, that's a little different.
It is.
That's like getting direct feedback from your consumers on what they use and how they use it and stuff like that. To me, that's a little better than, okay, we're getting all your information. Let's sell it off so we can make money. To me, that I don't want to go into third parties. So it's a little different.
A bit different.
I don't want to give up my data anyway, but if I'm going to be doing that, I would prefer to go to Microsoft.
To me, the biggest thing is the like you said, when they strip stuff out. I just want a basic browser. Give me a browser that runs stuff well. I don't all the add-ons and the bloatware they shove into that stuff. Sometimes I don't care about, and that's always what Chrome was. I think it was when it first came out. Especially, it was fast and it was basic, and that's all I want out of a browser.
And now, if you don't have enough RAM, it's terrible.
It's a RAM eater.
Yep.
But I want something fast and basic.
Yep.
For a browser. I mean, I got lots of RAM, so you can eat some of that. That's
Firefox is. I used to love Firefox, but it's slow. It's just not fast.
Did you try the Quantum?
What's that?
Firefox Quantum. Wasn't that the newest one?
Sure. I don't know. I haven't used Firefox.
It's a little faster.
I got Firefox on here.
Firefox.
Wait, I'm using Firefox on here. It performs well on Linux.
Jeff lies on podcast more.
Well, it doesn't. I had it on. I do have it on this computer.
See.
But I mean, I haven't used it because it's doing an update. I don't even. Yeah. So I'm not. I used to love Firefox, but it's not the same anymore.
We'll see
but
if they've improved.
Opera is my browser of choice.
It's good.
Built-in VPN. The only thing about that is you don't know who's providing the VPN service.
True.
But it does work.
It works.
If you're trying to actually appear for being somewhere else. But yes, they don't tell you who's providing it, but they have ad blocker stuff built in. I don't know, just like it, and it's quick. It's built off of Chromium, so
it has the speed.
Yep, it has a speed, and most of the add-ons that work with Chrome work with it. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. I'm going to try and report back to the Microsoft one and see what happens. They have some interesting integration with it, which they're pushing with Windows and all this stuff too. Like, continue what you're doing on your phone, on your PC. That's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Especially if like you were looking at something on YouTube and, all right, I'm done watching it here. You get home or something or whatever, you can immediately bring it up on your computer. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, their focus is on, well, if you're editing a document on your phone, which I don't know why you'd ever do that. Apparently people do. Maybe perhaps more from a tablet or something. But you can immediately put it right on your computer. So
yep.
I think that's kind of cool. All right. Next episode takes us to, well, we look a little bit at Intel and their totally unnecessary release of the 9900 KS. And you can tell how much I think of that release. Anyway, let's hear what we talked about at the time. Of course, Intel did just announce their i9 9900 KS, which apparently is the world's best processor for gaming, made even better.
So it's been.
Which sounds like a lot of bullcrap, but anyway, it's probably true. I mean, it probably is the best gaming processor, which is fine. But
the marketing here is a bit bizarre. They compare it to a 3-year-old PC, which is about as vague as you can get.
27% faster. No kidding, right? I hope so.
27% faster than compared to a 3-year-old PC.
Yeah, 3-year-old. What kind of? Are you talking about an AMD FX 8320E powered system? Or because in that case, 27% isn't that impressive.
Now, they unlocked it they upped the TDP to like 125 or something crazy.
127.
127. All right, I was close.
Yeah.
And so this is hot, probably loud, and pretty powerful, but just really the same thing they've been selling us all along. Just slightly more. It's clocked higher, really.
Yeah. So hooray!
Does it have more PCIe lanes? I think it does.
It says 40 PCIe lanes. Is that more than what normal?
This requires quick research because we're experts.
We're super experts. I know everything when it comes to Intel. Nah.
Helps if you spell lanes right, though, doesn't it?
Nah.
To the Intel Arc.
They still are pretty. They're pretty stingy on their cache still, though.
A little, but it's a
compared to AMD chips, though.
Boost. But I guess it's just the boost core or boost core.
The boost clock core, the blues.
I just combine both of those things into one word. The core clock is up a significant amount from 3.6 to 4, so they increased their TDP, which makes sense.
And then they say they can do 5 gigahertz on all cores, which actually was something the previous CPU could do if you overclocked it properly and cooled it properly. So it's not really that impressive.
So the 9900K says it has 16 PCIe.
Is it really? Oh, okay. Well, then
so that's a significant jump.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. It only has 16?
Apparently.
Really? That sounds not like enough.
I'm on Intel's own website, so I don't know.
What does my CPU have? I'm curious now. 7, 17.
2 because AMD sucks. Sorry, I was on Intel's website. I got sucked in. It was
I'm getting pulled.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I really hated the color red. It was really weird.
Let's see here. What does it say? Okay, 20 lanes on my 1700. So more than
slightly better.
Okay. Oh,
you
all right.
used
so
2 of them.
The case. Okay. So the catch is it's 16 lanes built onto the CPU and 4 lanes in the chipset.
AMD and their technicalities.
Yeah. I remember that.
Anyway.
Now. I only use the one slot.
So if you want to spend way too much money on a gaming processor for basically no reason except for because you're awesome and have lots of money, then yeah, buy this one.
Do they? See, now this isn't bad though. They gave it an MSRP of $513 US. I mean,
compared to their previous pricing, it's actually really good.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Pentium Extremes and Extreme processors used to be $1,000 just automatically. So,
yeah. But that's more. That's more saying that their previous pricing was bad than it is saying this is good.
That's a good point,
but it's not bad.
But that's still more money than your top end. R9 39 whatever, so
3950X
3550. I kind of want that CPU now that I've been doing rendering something fast. So
what is 3950X?
It's a CPU, but it's got 16 cores and 32 threads, man.
Yeah, 4.7 boost.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a monster.
That's pretty good. Yeah. That's a CPU is what that is, or a collection of CPUs, I should say.
You know that 3950X is supposed to come out now in November because it got delayed.
Yes, it's coming, and I probably won't get it anyway. But I would love.
It's a lot of money because if you take $750 American, convert it to Canadian, you get about $3,000 somehow.
$3,532. Yeah, probably. That's probably what it is, minus a few dollars, give or take a little. Yeah, but. Anyway, I don't know. This is the most unnecessary processor Intel's released for a long time. And finally, we have a clip from episode 58 where we talk about the return of one of our most beloved cell phones. Back in the day when we were growing up, the Motorola Razr, and how Motorola has resurrected it in the smartphone age. So let's take a look at what we talked about there. Okay, this I'm looking forward to. I know it's something I'll never be able to afford, though. Motorola, there's been rumors for years. Do you remember the Razr phone?
Yep.
Yeah, everybody had to have one, or you didn't have one, so you weren't cool. Which was me. I never had one.
I wasn't cool.
I had a later version of it for a company I worked for, but it wasn't a Razr. Anyway, they're releasing a new Razr phone. It's an Android phone, flip phone. And this, I think, is the perfect implementation of a folding display. I think the Samsung one is a stupid idea because otherwise it's a really skinny display unless you open it up.
Right.
And the same with the Huawei one if it ever comes. But this one,
you can flip it.
This has an outer display on it just like the original phone had.
Yeah.
But since it folds in half lengthwise, it's very compact for your pocket.
You can easily flip
but
it
you
open.
can open it up, and it's actually got a bigger display than a typical chocolate bar styled,
bar.
Yeah.
Yes, I see
phone.
that. That's a good way to do it.
I very much quite like it, and it looks like the hinge thing works really well.
Who would have guessed? Base it on the flip phones.
Yeah.
The only problem, of course, is
What?
the price.
Oh yeah. Here we go.
always the
$1,500. There it is.
$1,500.
U.S. and Europe launch of $1,500.
Yep. That's a lot.
So
it's cool.
I mean, the Razr wasn't cheap either. But do you remember when phones like expensive phones were like $300?
Yeah.
Yeah, $1,500.
$1,500.
So I won't have one.
$300.
I mean, I bought at $300.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, me too.
I also, but see, the thing is, nobody's ever going to see that cost because everybody finances that stuff out, which I think is nuts.
But
why are people financing phones?
Because
it's crazy.
Because I don't know. People are financing all kinds of things now.
Go on Amazon and buy an unlocked phone. You don't need those other ones.
I'm with you though. I'm with you. But I know a lot of people like their
unlocked
big
phones are new too. Like they're not used phones. Buy a new phone. I buy new phones. That's what I do.
Yeah, but $200 is about my price range for a phone. I mean,
I'll pay up to $300.
Up to $300.
Yeah.
I haven't actually bought one in a long time.
And that's Canadian pesos, of course.
I'm provided one through my work, so I don't really need my own phone right now.
My work provides a phone if I want one, but it's
like a flip
phone. You can't even text.
Like not the good kind of flip phone.
It's just
it's specifically for emergency calls.
You can't even text. Well, it's used to call them.
Yeah.
Like no, you can keep that. I'll just use my phone.
Yeah.
If I'm not getting any advantage out of it, that's an extra thing to carry.
That's my price range. But some of these, I mean, it's cool. It's the kind of thing that I look at and I go, that's a really cool tech, and I would like to have something similar once it hits. And I'm hoping it hits mass market so that someone develops cheaper versions of it.
Specifically. This design specifically.
This design is the coolest.
This one, as I said, makes sense
it's the
to me.
It's the coolest folding phone implementation I've seen personally. So I would purchase one of those if it was a cheap version.
I would get one in a heartbeat.
If
the screens prove to be that they live for a long time, I may buy one down the road, unlocked and used.
Yeah.
To try it out at some point, but I'm never going to buy one for $1,500. Which, by the way, would be $2,000 here. So guaranteed. So
factor in exchange and a little bit of bull crap, and you get about two.
Well, factor in exchange and the bell tax, right? Because they don't. They like to rip you off here.
Well, that's the other thing you're talking about. Some people financing phones. Some of those phones you have to finance, isn't that? Like when they're first released.
My thing is,
which is nuts.
Don't stand for that.
I know it's
don't
crap.
Buy that junk. You don't. The thing is, everybody wants to have the latest and greatest phone or whatever with the Qualcomm 800 series CPUs and whatever in it. You don't need it.
Yeah. I
have this Nokia has a Qualcomm 635 in it. It's fantastic. And it runs games fine if that's one of your qualifications that you need to have something that runs games fine.
Well, it's got a good Snapdragon in it. So.
Great.
Yeah.
It's a great CPU. And then there's, I have the equivalent in my U.S. phone. Here I am saying I got two phones, even though I said I don't want two phones. But anyway, I have two phones. I have one for the U.S., but it's got the MediaTek version of it. It's not. It's basically the same idea. It's just their version of the mid-range CPU, and it doesn't do the gaming quite as well, but it's still very passable.
Yeah.
So.
Hey,
you don't need those big ones.
Yeah, See, for me, I don't need much, but I also don't put game again because it's a work phone. I don't put I don't put anything on it, so I don't know much. That's why usually when we do a gaming, you're the one that talks about mobile gaming because I don't do it. If I ever go on a trip and I want to take games with me, I just bring my Switch, but that doesn't happen very often for me. But anyway,
Anyway,
so yeah, I'm not your average customer. I think they do make it pretty enticing, like when you go into the store, like a physical store for the phone, and they say, "Well, here's your monthly charge for what you want. We'll add on $20 a month, and you get this nicer phone." I can see how that's appealing. Well, that was an arbitrary number I just picked, but like they add on a certain amount of money, and you can see where it might be like, "Oh, that's kind of a nice deal," and I get this nicer phone, even though. I think the problem is what they do is they show you the difference between this is the nice phone that costs more money and this is the phone that can come with your contract, and the one that comes with is not great. But meanwhile, you could just get the contract.
You don't see that though. No, I don't think that's how they sell them anymore.
Oh, that's how they.
No,
I mean, I've been
most
in one
people
in a long time,
don't see the price of the phone.
Oh,
what they do, they are told by the person selling you the plan and whatever. This phone comes free with the plan.
But the plan is more
expensive. But they're not telling you the breakdown of the plan. They're not telling you how much you're paying monthly just for the phone. They're telling you at the end, this is going to be your monthly
So they
bill.
kind of obfuscate all the individual costs.
Exactly.
So you're like, well, what if I just want a SIM card and I'm putting it in my own phone? And that's a whole other thing.
You should see how they look at you when you do that. Because I did that, and they're like, you just want a SIM card? Are you sure your phone will work with it? It's an unlocked phone. Just give me the SIM card.
Well, I can understand. I mean, okay, first of all, yes, there's probably they're disappointed because they wanted to sell you the big phone and get the money for it and whatnot. But I can also see, because I bet you they will get people that think they know what they're doing and don't, and they come back in with their unlocked phone and get support.
I think
from them.
some, yes.
So I could see where they might be a little
working at
frustrated.
these places barely understand how
I
it
understand that, but I can see where that would get frustrating for them, where some people think that they.
All I can say is, be a good consumer, do some research, learn about how this stuff works. Yeah. You don't have to be a tech know-it-all to figure this stuff out. There's all kinds of tools on the internet.
Unlocked phones are really easy. You go on Amazon, you look at the comments, they say, yes, it works with this, yes, it works with that.
Yeah, there's a website. There's a specific website out there. You can look up the model number, and you can look up the carrier you're with. Mm-hmm. If it says it works, it'll work. So it's not hard to do.
At the end of the day, though, do what you want and you can afford. We're just old men being angry. But
I'm just saying, you don't need that CPU. It's the same as I don't need a 3950X, which I probably won't get as much as I want to.
You absolutely do not need, but you want it. But you might spend money on it. I mean, that's the thing. If you have money that you can spend on something and you really want it, do it. That's fine. I'm not telling you to stop that. But if you are tight on budget but you need a phone, don't just assume that the phone they give you, quote unquote, with the plan is actually what you're actually getting a good deal out of it, because you're probably not. No. That's the thing. Mind you, we're talking to, if people listening to a Technobabble podcast are probably at least somewhat versed in tech. Maybe not in phones. I'm not.
That wasn't my original intention for this podcast, but yeah, I'm sure that's pretty much what it is. Yeah. And that's a look back at our 2019. We hope to have a busier 2020, have some more podcasts for you and some more content on YouTube for you. And we're really happy you stuck with us, and we look forward to growing throughout the year. You can find us almost anywhere to download us, so check us out. Any device will pretty much play us, and we look forward to seeing you, talking to you in the new year. And thank you on behalf of Dan and everybody on the podcast. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you guys next time.